And we are finally recording. Finally recording. Okay, that wave looks good. I'm not clipping. Gotta maintain proper voice, proper speech, proper volume, proper level. Light levels is okay, they're decent. You know what? I'm not gonna die. Good. Welcome to an episode. Let me sleep it like that. Now, welcome to a video. First actual video of the channel, and it's in English. Now, these videos, they're gonna have a nature of switching back and forth, whether Spanish, English, etc. So, I mean, I take it if you're here for the music, you kind of understand what the music is about. I'm choosing it to do it in English today because for various reasons. One being that I can express myself with more of an extensive vocabulary in a weird way, right? Because you would think that somebody that says that is because they make music in English, but the result is further from what the truth can actually be. But welcome. This is my first video of the Dream Radio channel, and I'm testing out this multiple camera angles just because I'm a big fan of it. Big fan of it. You know, I don't particularly like to lock myself into one particular style. It even shows itself in the music as well. You know, if you know me, I make a lot of types of music, and a lot of them are very radical at that. You know, because I started making music in with like the whole reggaeton stuff. Then it went changing to like more of like a what is it, like pop style type of music, because it wasn't even hip hop too. Although there is some of that. Ultimately, the music has changed, and that's normal. That's okay. I'm comfortable with that. And as nature dictates, a person changes. A person starts young, gets progressively older, then they reach their old age, and that's it. So the very same thing is with the music, I find. And I have no problem with that. At first I was very, it's got to be like this, all or nothing type of scenario. But for the better, I changed, and I couldn't be more glad. I couldn't be happier that something like this took place for many reasons. Now, we all know we human beings are social creatures. We're creatures that have emotions, and as a result of that, there's a lot of change in our behaviors, in our moods, in the way we speak, all that stuff, and music naturally should be able to convey that. Hence what happened to me. So the reason for this video really is it's more of like an icebreaker. I want you to know who's the person behind the music, because for a very long time I was in a very erroneous type of approach when it came to making the music. Now, like most young people, young rapper and everything, I started out with wanting to reach the top, as they say. And I was taught a very valuable and important lesson, and I'm still being taught that today, that really it's not about that. It never was about that. And what set somebody aside, what set an artist aside, what set a musician aside from, say, someone that would just create content, say someone that is to entertain you, is the very fact that musicians, they have things to say, they have things to get off their chest, they have things to illustrate, to portray. And as I mature in mindset, in heart, I changed. So I found myself dealing with a lot of controversy, internal controversies, a lot of adjusting to certain ways of thinking, a lot of getting comfortable with even my voice, because my voice changed, and I underwent a lot of stuff that influenced my voice changing, and my outlook of the world also changing. So, with that being said, whoop, and I went down. Hold on a minute. So with that being said, my mindset comes changed, and again, I couldn't be happier, because that has taught me, not just as a musician, but as a person, as a human being, uh, what life is. Life for us, the living, the mortal, life is about living, right? Duh. But what do I say? So life is about ups and downs, changing, adjusting, friction, joy, sadness, all these things culminating together to form an experience that we as musicians, we can dictate how to present it to you. And the reason why that's extremely, like, for me, something very important, and why I understand now today the importance of it, is because, well, to you that know me personally, you know that I I study the Bible. I talk about, God, Jesus, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you want to call it, and obviously something like that influences what you see, what you do, what you say, what you don't say. It influences your whole life completely, the way you carry yourself, all these things. And being that knowledge, over the years grew, over the years I revisited, over the years I studied, over the years I left all these things, so that I will be able to just sit down and have this discussion with you today. All of these things, they've taught me that as a musician, I actually have a responsibility, because, believe it or not, or whatever the case might be, we musicians, or any other form of expressive talents, or expressive endeavors, or whatever the case might be, we're actually role models. We are role models, whether we like it or not. People are gonna look upon us, and they can either like it or not, they can even click with it or not, connect to it or not. At the end of the day, we're supposed to get exposed, and we will get exposed. And so when people look at that, they tend to take a piece of what it is that you presented to them. In short, if I am to convey something, then I have to, be fully on board with what it is, because whether I like it or not, it will get conveyed. So understanding that shaped tremendously the way in which my songs are made. It shaped tremendously the way I approached music. It was not the same anymore. And it's not something that just happened overnight. It is a process. It was a process, and it still is a process of changing, adjusting, and doing. So with that being said, there's a lot of there's a lot of friction. There was a lot of frictions that I had to see through, and I had to understand first. And one of the biggest one at the time was the following. So if I wanted to be a star, as they say way back, I would have to compromise and give away things that define me as a person. And truth be told, I wasn't willing to do that. I was not willing to do that. So I had to set a few things into perspective. I had to put a few things in check within me, because nobody was gonna do it other than me, of course. So the appeasing had to go. It had to go away. Meaning, what the people like, that outlook of let me just do what they like, that I used to have before, that thing had to die. It had to go away. Let me see what else. The conscious or unconscious elevation of that which which was wrong, that had to go away. Meaning that if there is something sinful that I see and know that it is sin, I had to swiftly and quickly stop writing, stop promoting that, stop putting that out there. A lot of things came with this frame of thought. A lot of, some might say, limitations came in, but in reality, it really was a form of shaping and molding and adjusting, so that this musical work or these musical works can come forth, and hence I'll be able to shine that light to anybody else that would listen to my music. So obviously I have to be a star, that had to go away. And once I let go of that, I felt incredibly light, happy. I felt a lot of freedom, because then I realized I could do everything and anything within the confines of the Creator, within the confines of the Most High. And lo and behold, that was when the journey actually like skyrocketed. It skyrocketed, because now I'm faced with various challenges, not depressing challenges, but really just fun, intuitive, creative, productive challenges. Because I realized something. Hey, listen, as cliche as this might sound, hey, listen, I'm doing music for God. I'm actually doing good music, and with a pure heart, with a pure intent, where my goal is not to make money or to have the recognition. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't really like, I wasn't betting on those things. I did not depend on those things. So I could, do whatever it is I wanted to do. And it felt great. It felt good. It did not feel like bondage. It didn't feel like I was trying to compete, in this ladder, for the top. It really did not feel that. It did not feel like that at all. So, yeah, man. So then I started thinking, contemplating, and I actually deemed this process, or deemed this this endeavor, Dream Radio. And I actually embraced the whole idea that, what, man, this is kind of like a service. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm ministering through my work. I'm making sure my work is actually non-offensive, first to God, and then everything else will be fine. And you know what, man, if I was listening to my music, right, if I wasn't a musician, and if I was listening to my music, I would rock with that. Like, I would listen to that solely. And I'm not saying this to just because it's my music, or to pat myself in the back or something like that. But it is work that I'm not afraid to show anybody and say, hey, listen, I'm 100% behind this. Not from an ideological point of view, but from a point of view where it actually means something. It actually matters. And I know it can actually help somebody stuck in whatever rut they're stuck, or whatever case might be. I know this work can actually just go and wherever people listen to it, or whatever the case, I know that it's gonna have some type of positive effect at that. So that made me really happy, and in a good way, in a pure sense, if I could say it, even it actually made me kind of proud of going and still go through all of those strides, through all of those tribulations, to make the music I make. And I couldn't be any happier. And so, which also brings me to a point of this video. If you listen to it, from how I started at first, how I started, the music that was actually posted at the time, because I had many other works, but they just didn't make it out there. If you listen to the music that I put out, the first times I actually put it out up until now, again, I think you're able to tell uh, where I was, and where I will most likely go, if that makes any sense. I think you'll be able to have a clear picture of the trajectory. And honestly, again, it couldn't make me happy even if one person finds some type of value in there, because again, I was set out to make this music with purpose. And I'm not gonna say I found it, because it's like the man of many talents. You have to increase. You can't just stop there, right? If you're given one, you have to multiply them. If you're given five, you still gotta multiply them. The point is that you actually do more with what you were given, and not stay stagnant. So I'm really happy. My musical journey has taken this approach, and I'm very happy to nowadays just share it with you. I'm really happy that I can look back at my lyrics, even from when I started and up until now, and just say, you know what, I'm satisfied, and I want to keep doing more. I'm very happy because stuff like that just, I mean, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, because I'm not every person in the world, but it just feels so tailored, so unique to me. And I wouldn't change it for fame or glory or whatever case might be, because I have a clear conscience. I know I'm doing this for a greater purpose. And again, you don't have to see the cash flow, you don't have to see the multitudes of people. That's irrelevant, because at the end of the day, the way, the actual way, is straight and narrow. There be few that find it, and I understand that, and I'm comfortable with my works reflecting that and showing that. Not that you have to listen to my music, by the way. It's just a form of illustration to let you know that this way is hard. And because people are so used to the vanity, the glory, the fortune, the accolades, and things like that, they don't see it as that. But in everything you do in life, I have this clear in my mind, that in everything you do in life, if it's for good, if it's good, you're gonna go through things like this, and you're gonna see things like this. But understand, man, once you get your value, once you understand what it is that you set out to do, and you actually see it, that's an experience that's unmatched, unbeatable. So yeah, so if I would encapsulate not all this, because there's a lot that I have said, but if I were to encapsulate like the main theme or the main idea of this video, it will be the following. It's not about the goal, it's about the journey. Simply because the goal can change at any moment, but the journey can stay a journey all throughout. And that's what's beautiful about this whole situation. That's what's beautiful about this whole thing. So there it is, man. Dream Radio, Danny LyriCa Hard Style. Shit, I went through so many name changes and things like that. At the end of the day, I'm kind of feeling like, you know what, let me just use my real name. Screw it. Enough with this name crap. Enough with these titles. Enough with all these things that warrant some type of accolade. I'm kind of done with that stuff, But anyways, enjoy whatever content you see. I mean, God knows, it's been a long time, but I'm not gonna say stay tuned either. I'm just gonna put stuff out. Okay, so peace. I like this whole angle thing. Got a 3 camera setup going on. Anyways, peace out.